What's up, guys? This is Jason Savage showing you an inside look at the welding test that I took when I worked at TECO Metal Fabrication in Garland, Texas. First, I want to dedicate this video to the Veteran Resource Center in Dallas, Texas for the welding course that you guys provide. Shout out to Miko, Manny, and Don. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do. It has a bigger impact on people's lives than you probably know. So the welding test at TECO, it's going to be building a box out of 18 gauge steel. They're going to give you 4 sheets of steel, about the same length and width of these right here. I picked these up from Home Depot, but they unfortunately did not have 18 gauge steel, so I'm going to be using 16 to make this video. This is the machine that they use up at TECO, the Millermatic 252. So I'm going to show you the settings that I would use while I work there. I kept my volts around 17.2 and my wire speed anywhere between 165 and 175. Of course, you know, you can play around with these settings yourself and find what works best for you. But just so you have some sort of reference, those are the numbers that I use while I work up there. So you hold these 2 pieces together from the top and bring the bottom corners down to where they touch, and then you can control both pieces with that upper hem. And what you're wanting to do is create a valley for you to lay your bead down right in between the two edges. You don't want it to be butted up against it like that or like this, because you'll burn straight through it when you try and run down that edge. So bring it to where the corners meet at the bottom. It's really the bottom meet together that's most important, because that's where we're going to be putting our first tack. But just so you can see that valley right there. Once you get your edges lined up to where you've created the valley, you're going to put your first tack right at the base to hold the 2 pieces together. It's just a quick tack like that to get it held, and then you're just going to work your way up the edge. You're putting a tack maybe every 2 inches. Keeping that valley as you work your way up. You just work it with this hand up here. You want to build your box first before you start doing any of the welds on the sides. So you're going to take your next piece and do the same thing. Get the edges lined up to create that valley. You can use the end of your gun as well to knock things in place, to hold it together. You get those two corners down at the bottom lined up, and then tack. And I'm closing my eyes when I do this tack. Don't worry, I'm not staring straight into the yard. And then once again, just work your way up that spine here, creating a valley. That valley is very important when you go to run your bead. And you don't have to worry too much about pieces being straight or anything, because you can maneuver this steel pretty easily. You know what I mean? So just focus on creating that valley between all four pieces. Probably could put a couple more tacks in between these, just for good measure. And there's your box. Now to finish it up, I'm going to be going over the two different positions that I use while working there that help me a lot to, run a good bead and be comfortable, be supported, all of that. You want to bring the corner of the box over to where it hangs off the edge of the table. So that way when you run your bead, you don't run into anything coming down. So this first one is just going to be standing. And there we have our first run. Could have done a little better, but hey, we got through it. The other way you can do it, which might be more helpful to some of you, is bring that corner over the edge and then do it from down on your knees. And there's our second run. What they want to see is that you can run a bead without stopping. So it's important to be able to do this in one motion. Then bring the corner to where it hangs off the edge of the table. And we're going to do it standing again. And then our last one. And there we go. There's our finished box. So the important things to remember is to create that valley between the edges of the pieces and to run your bead right down the center of that. That's where the bead is going to go, is through that valley. So it's important to make sure that you have that whenever you're making this box. I hope that this has been of some use to someone. I hope it's been helpful. The more that you practice this, the better that you're going to get at it. and it's going to take some practice for you to get used to it, for sure. So definitely practice that as much as you can. Until next time, thank you guys very much.